Today, we are announcing the Climate Pledge. The Climate Pledge is to meet the goals of the Paris Agreement 10 years early. By 2024, we're committing to be at 80% renewable energy, and by 2030, we're committing to be at 100% renewable energy.
CEO Jeff Bezos announcing a new sweeping plan to go green. The measures include, as he said, a $100 million reforestation plan, a new order for 100,000 electric delivery vans, and a pledge to power its global infrastructure by 100% renewable energy by 2030. It's going to be interesting to see whether that can be done. The announcement coming just one day before nearly 1,000 Amazon employees are planning to walk off the job in protest of the company's inaction on climate change. Here now is former EPA official Mandy Gunasekera. Good to see you, Mandy. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. So is it better for private business to take this on instead of relying on government regulation?
Certainly. The private sector has been producing innovations very successfully for a long time. And at the end of the day, when it comes to environmental issues, there's a delicate balance between the federal government setting forth expectations, but doing so with a close relationship and a good understanding of how the companies and the industries that impact actually work. And that's where the role of CEOs making these type of decisions, oftentimes they're much better suited to make those decisions to ensure that they don't undermine their business or undermine the services that they bring to their consumers.
Mandy, it's Jonathan Honig. Thank you for being with us. Look, you can argue about whether this is a good bottom line move for Amazon or not, but it is a voluntary move. Right. In fact, it makes me think of going back to the Chevy Volt, which the U.S. government encouraged Chevy to make. That car is discontinued. But in fact, Amazon is not only investing in hundreds and hundreds of new delivery vehicles, they've invested in the company that is creating those vehicles. To David's point, isn't essentially the private sector the best mechanism, the only mechanism that can actually address these emissions problems if they in fact are problems?
Yeah, I think the private sector is the best at producing the most efficient solutions to reducing emissions. We've seen this play out in a number of applications already. One of them is advances in the hydraulic fracturing business. Because of those advancements, you've seen explosive growth of the natural gas industry, which is the real reason that the United States leads the world in emission reductions. And that wasn't the product of regulatory requirements coming down from the federal government. It was a combination of a market that encourages innovation and desire of companies to produce that in a meaningful way.
Mandy, Gary Kalpam here. Under Obama, the EPA was supposedly the greatest organization on earth. Now under Trump, they're the worst because every time they get rid of a regulation, all of a sudden they're the great polluters. How does, like, the EPA handle the marketing of something like that? Because every time I see a regulation go by the wayside, it does usually say Obama era, ERA regulation, and I think they're maybe just doing their job.
Well, the problem with the Obama-era EPA regulations is that a lot of them were unjustified, and they had this mentality of regulating for the sake of regulating, whereas under the Trump administration, the president has directed the agency to look at these regulations and figure out what is working in terms of producing the type of environmental protection that's expected and what is not. And so in paring back regulations, he's been maintaining important protections, but he's been saving money that businesses under Obama were sending to Washington bureaucracies, but now they are investing in their companies to either grow their companies, hire new employees, or invest in the latest and greatest technologies that will get us to the innovative future we'd like to see in the energy space.
So, Mandy, it seems like you are supportive that Amazon is entering in their own way the Paris Climate Accord. Do you think the U.S. should have removed themselves from the climate accord?
Absolutely. The United States, or one of the best decisions that the president made early on, he had committed to it on the campaign trail and followed through early on into his presidency, was getting the United States out of the Paris Climate Accord. A lot of the problems was it required these top-down, expansive federal control that would have undermined unleashing the markets in the way that have produced the economic growth we've seen today.
Although it was just a guideline, right?
It was more than a guideline.
It wasn't a regulation.
It was a commitment, though, that the United States made.
Yes, it was a commitment that the United States was making that would have
Right.
tied our hands in terms of regulatory expectations that came with high costs. It would have undercut competition and sent American jobs overseas to countries like China and
Mandy,
India that really are the problem.
I want to switch gears if I can, because President Trump calling San Francisco's homeless problem an environmental violation that requires a cleanup by the Environmental Protection Agency. He says the pollution from homeless who are living on the street there in San Francisco, including used needles and human waste, are a threat to public health and safety. What do you make of this?
This is 100% within the president's purview to step in. The federal government has broad sweeping oversight authority that when local officials are not keeping the environment clean or protecting the public health of their citizens, the federal government can step in. And so the president was putting the state of California on notice that if they don't clean it up and start taking care of the homeless situation that is also lending itself to a public health crisis where you have the return of once eradicated diseases like leprosy, if they don't fix the problem, he will use the resources of the federal government to help these people and fix the problem for them.
Yeah, and I think, frankly, it's scoring political points, and good for President Trump, because this is an outrage. California has 12% of the nation's population, 50% of the homelessness, and they are doing absolutely zero to help it. Now, you have someone like Bernie Sanders coming out with a housing plan. I don't know if you've had a chance to look at that housing plan, but basically it wants the government to provide housing for all. And I mean, it's sort of like the Medicare for all. It's sort of the government now is going to take this over. What we've seen in California is that there's nothing worse than the government being responsible for housing.
Liz, you say,
sorry, go ahead.
No. You say they're doing nothing in California to help the problem, but they're the ones that are creating the problem.
I totally agree. I mean, if you look at it, every economist on earth agrees that what Bernie Sanders is now proposing, rent controls, absolutely dries down the stock of housing and will make this problem worse. So I say good for President Trump for calling this out. Something needs to be done, and it needs to be done in California.
Yeah, absolutely. California is good at lecturing the rest of the world how we should live our lives instead of fixing the problems in their own backyard. And that's what the president is calling them out on.
So you support the president now getting involved with state solutions? Because I think he campaigned that the states should take care of themselves. It's amazing how we are so Jekyll and Hyde tonight. But
well,
and by the way,
I would say it depends on the situation, for sure.
Is your background in science? I was just curious. Are you a scientist by background?
My background, I'm an attorney by trade and have done policy work.
Got it.
Yes.
All right, but the bottom. Go ahead, Jonathan. What do you make of Robert's point that there's, we should regard states' rights as more important than federal rights?
Yeah.
You're for that,
I think the president should point
We should
point
go
this,
around and see if
this
we're
out.
all for that, because you just more or less all agreed with them.
No, Robert, not me. The president should point this out. It's those policies, the NIMBY building policies, the environmental policies,
He's more than
the hobo
pointing it
handout
out,
policies.
Jonathan. Come on.
But this
isn't
inappropriate. I'm trying to agree with you, Robert, but you just keep on talking.
You won't take yes for an answer. Mandy, thank you very much for being here.